understand the love account, we need to understand what our basic needs are.
So let's talk about the needs of the man and the woman in the marriage.
We don't need to be thinking that we both have the exact same needs at the same intensity.
Right. So a woman, for example, needs affection, conversation, honesty and openness, financial support, family commitment.
And men have more of a need in the area of sexual fulfillment, recreational companionship, an attractive spouse, domestic support, and admiration or respect.
When we're meeting these needs, we're making deposits into our spouse's love account.
And we need to think about, we can be making small deposits or we can make big deposits. We can make small withdrawals or big withdrawals.
Ooh, what's a withdrawal?
When we're stepping on each other's toes, we're making a withdrawal.
So by that we mean when we're doing something that has the effect of coming across as negative to our spouse. It may not feel negative to me, but if it feels negative to Sean, it's a withdrawal.
That's right. And we each have our own value system of where we determine what is a big or small deposit or a big or small withdrawal.
And don't you want to know if your spouse's account is in the red?
That's right. If I think that my account is full and overflowing, but Rhonda's is in the red, I need to find out what has made it go into a debt. Right. And I need to be making some deposits.
Right. And so it's important for us to know the value system of our spouse. We have to understand our spouse's value system.
That's right. I can be making what I think is a deposit to Rhonda because it's in my value system as a deposit, but it's not really a deposit to her.
And I could be making withdrawals and depleting Sean's love account and not even know it if I'm basing it on what would be a withdrawal in my definition.
That's right. So we need to better understand what's a deposit to you, big or small, what's a withdrawal to you, big or small.
And so we have to be able, kind of like in a store, we're going to put price tags on these things in the marriage, or we suggest that you do.
That's
because
right.
What's really sad is one negative act can wipe out 20 positive additions there.
We don't want to do that.
So make sure that you're taking time to talk about your choice of words, your nonverbals, your facial expressions, tone of voice, little behaviors that you do that have a positive and a negative impact for you.
Yeah, just because I might say, that I didn't mean that in a negative way, doesn't mean that it wasn't a withdrawal to my wife.
And this leads to our ability to share needs as a couple, which is critical.
It is. It's so important that we are able to openly communicate to each other what you have need of and what maybe to prioritize that and be able to say, hey, here's my top need that I need to have met in the relationship.
Because we've talked about a lot of things previously that need to come out of the picture to create greater emotional intimacy. But there's some things that need to be in the picture, and meeting needs is definitely one of those things.
Right. And so if we have a core need that God put in us that's not being met, we're going to have a tendency to respond negatively because of that.
Let's think spiritual, emotional, social, intellectual, relational, as parents, in our jobs, all the various areas of life. What are our needs?
Yeah, and this is an area really that's going to help you increase your marital intimacy. When you're able to communicate openly and let your spouse know, here's what I need the most, then you're going to be able to expose that part of you so that they can see you and know you in a greater way.
Right. So this is a critical thing for us to be able to do. Just like we can address issues using the positive request, and we can bounce back and forth to talk about that and come up with a plan for how we'll do that differently in the future, we can do the same thing with sharing our needs.
That's right. And I think about in Genesis 2 where it says the man and his wife were both naked and they were not ashamed. That's more than just physical. They were exposed completely and they were completely open to each other on a spiritual, emotional, as well as a physical level.
So it would be really important going forward if you set aside times to not only address those issues that are problematic for you in the relationship, but to also cover what your needs are so you can stay current in that area as well.
Yeah, I believe that as you do this, you will find a greater level of closeness and intimacy. So many times we're putting up walls because
Right.
of maybe a need that wasn't met,
Right.
and we need to tear those down.
And this is a good way to get started in that.
So let's see how that you can put this into practice in your own marriage.
What would this look like for you, and what plan can you come up with to make sure that you're meeting each other's needs?
Let's start by asking each other questions and find out, what are your greatest needs?
Because giving an invitation is a lot better than the spouse trying to force a way to say, hey, I have a need. Wouldn't it be better if we were to ask?
That's right. That's what we need to do, is invite that information from our spouse.